Hi all, welcome back to LoadRunner Advanced Session Trainings. So today we'll be discussing about final session in Vusion. So someone has asked me to show how to do automatic correlation. So correlation rules, how to do. Okay. So now we'll discuss how to do automatic correlations. Okay. So there are two ways you can do automatic correlation. Or correlation rules we can see. Okay, so how to do automatic correlation? Before recording, go to recording options. If you go to recording options, there is a correlation option. You must select, then it will identify existing rules, and based on that rules it will show the values. Okay, if you go to correlation tab, so here you have to click the rule scan. So what it does is automatically correlate values will be found. So it will search in recording scan as well as replay scan, and it will give the correlation value, and it will insert this function WebResAparam_ex. Okay, so this is all about that one. So rule scan means there are some rules already existed rules in this Vusion. Okay, based on these rules, if it finds any rule like this, it will take that rule, and it will if it identifies this particular rule, and it will create the correlation value. So likewise there are many existing rules, so based on that it will identify the values. If it is Citrix value, flex, there are many values which will have some default values, right? So most of the Oracle applications, if you select this rule, it will go for only this particular rules. Okay, so likewise. Okay, let's do this one. For now, let me, so for us we have to do WebTours application, right? WebTours application we have one value, so I think this I have created. So there will be some rules. Okay, so based on that, this also I have created. So this we will see how to create them and how to do it. Okay, so by default, if you don't create also, what it does is it will go and check the rules, entire rules, and it finds any one of the value, automatically it creates the correlation. Okay, after you did that, just regenerate your script. Okay, so don't regenerate your script. If you do parameterization, correlation, everything will go away and it will come to base state. Base state means whichever your script you have recorded in first state, it will remove all the correlations, parameterizations, error handling, everything. It will come to base recording state. So here I don't have anything, so that is the reason I clicked on regenerate my script. Okay, so now what it does is it will try to do the correlation based on existing rules. So this is one way of doing. This is after you create script, this is the way you can do it. Okay, see, that is it searched everywhere, and it says there is no correlation has been found. Okay, so, and if you do replay also, it will find the correlation rule, and it will create the correlation function if it finds anything. If it doesn't find anything, it won't create any value. Okay, so let's replay and we'll see any correlation value will be found. Okay, so let it complete. See, this time also it's saying no correlation value is found. Okay, so now there won't be any correlation value found because there is no further action, right? So now what I will do is I will remove this script, I will add fresh script. Otherwise what I will do is I will make this action as empty. Okay, now I will try to re-record the script. Okay, once again. Okay, so this is the URL, and this time what I will do is before doing anything, it has to create rules. Okay, so now I will enable all the values. Okay, so automatic correlation is enabled here. Go here and enable automatic correlation, this value. If you don't want to do rule scan, just disable it, it won't do rule scan. If you want a correlation automatically done, then enable this rule scan, so automatically it will be checked during the execution itself. Okay, during the execution itself it will create the correlation rules. Once your script recording is done, you can see some correlation functions. That is called before recording, how to enable the correlation rules. Okay, so we'll see now. So it's recording, it's little slow, so we'll wait for some time. Okay, yeah, it has come. So I will log in. Always log in, will have some come on, let's retry. I will give Zozo Bean. Zozo and Bean is the default passwords. Okay, login is done. Just I will do sign off. Okay, very simple. Just go to URL and enter username and password and just log out. Okay, now it should create the correlation value for user session ID. Okay, user session ID must be correlated. See, now it is doing post generation, performing scan for correlation. So it will do everything and it will create the correlation value for you. See, it says it applied correlation for this one. It found the one of the rule and it found in this response and it does automatically. Okay, so click OK and close. Okay, so see, you can see here the value has been replaced, user session, the value has been created here, the value found in this response. See, here it kept one comment also, correlation comment, automatic rule don't change. Okay, so it did automatic correlation, you no need to worry about this one. So this is the way you have to select before recording. So before recording, what you have to do is go to recording options. So by default it will be enabled always. If you don't want, you can remove this one. If you want to keep, do this one. What it does is always it will go and search for the rules. Okay, now this is one of the way. If you forgot to do there, and replay one time your script and again do for this one. Okay, so Design Studio or something and it will do correlation. Okay, so these are the ways you can do it. Now we'll discuss on like how to do the automatic correlation rules by ourselves. Okay, if you see some of the applications, .NET applications mainly, you can see two correlation values. So on Java you set J session ID. Okay, Java will get J session ID. J session ID is the default correlation value. Okay, for .NET will get view state and event validation are the default values, default correlation values. Correlation values. Okay, so these are the two applications. If you have, you must see view state and event validation. If it is Java, you might see J session ID or user session some values. Okay, so if you want to do, see, the same script I want to create for 10 times, 10 different business flows. So I know this user session ID has to be correlated in every script. Okay, so 10 business flows I have to do this user session. So I may spend a lot of time to identify where this value is coming and doing correlation. So there is a very simple way we can create the rule. Okay, so before creating the rule, we must know what is this user session, what is the value of it. Okay, so go to generation log. Okay, and search it. See, now you got the value, right? This is your correlation ID value. So copy this left boundary, right boundary along with the actual value. Okay, now go to record. Okay, recording options. As I mentioned earlier, go to rules, create new rule. You can name it whatever name you want. For now I don't want to name it anything, I will keep as it is and create new rule. Okay, so here there are 3-4 options. Always go with yeah, this one, let it be there. So don't go for regular expression, because WebRed say parameter regexp you have to write it. Okay, so don't put this one. Okay, so always go for boundary based. Okay, this is very easy. So now again put this value. So what is the left side of that value? Cut that one. So this is your left boundary and remove this value. This will be your right boundary. So you no need to do any this forward slashes and all, backslash and all you no need to put. Okay, just select scan type as boundary based and left boundary and right boundary, copy paste here. If you want to name it, make it like a user session, or if it is view state, keep it view state. Okay, user session or J session, whatever value you want. Okay, you just keep the name. Okay, so this way it will be created. Now already I have done some rule here, so same session, so that is the reason it does that correlation for us. Okay, if you remove this one and if you do this one now, and if you re-record the script, it must do the rule. Okay, that's all. Rule is very simple. Just copy the left boundary, right boundary and come here, select the new rule and select type as boundary based, keep left boundary here, keep right boundary here, hit the OK button. Now the rule is ready. Whenever you record next time the script, automatically it will do correlation for you. Okay, if I run rescan this script, regenerate that script, now instead of user session, now user session 1 I will keep 1. So we'll come to know like whether it is really doing scan or not. Okay, now we can see user session 1 as the correlation value. It will replace with user session 1. Because of rule, it will again check entire rule based on your selected rules and it will generate that value for us automatically. Okay, so now regenerate script. Regenerate script is some of the times it is very useful if you want to regenerate your script into different conversion like URL based, HTML based. Okay, so for that you should have base script. At least one time you should record the script and save as, and make changes always in save as script. Whenever you do recording, always go here and do script save as and make the version as _1 _2. So don't do any regenerate script in the correlation values. If it does any correlation, parameterization and error handling, don't do regenerate script on that one. Only always do regenerate script on the base script which doesn't have anything. Okay, whenever you record, that is called base script. Okay, So this for me, this is the base script. Okay, so I doesn't did any correlation. See, now the value has been replaced with user session 1. That is the value which I have done auto correlation rule. Okay, if you go here, see user session 1. So that is the one I did correlation. So this is very simple. So this way we have to do correlation function. Okay, so this is one of the best thing. Okay, so and also I have to show you like how to write sometimes I think I might be already explained you about this one. See, under the load, how do I know whether this login is really working or not? Based on this text checkpoint. Text checkpoints are very important. Based on these, we will come to know whether it is really working or not. So if it is not finding this value, directly it will fail the script. So don't directly fail it. Okay, so write save count on parameter. Okay, save count equal to text1. Okay, so what it does is how many times this value has been found in this response, that will be saved under text1 parameter. Load, this is the one more parameter argument in WebRage find. If you go to WebRage find, you can see this is one argument, save count is one argument, there are many arguments. Okay, so now by save count, what it does is how many times this value has been found in this response time, that will be saved under this text1 parameter. Okay, so now I can write one condition here. If you can write a to I. Okay, a to I, what it does is string to integer, because this parameter always will be string. So load runner parameter is always string. I am converting to integer. Then I want to evaluate that value, right? Eval underscore string, then put bracket and closing bracket and this one. Okay, this is the way you have to do it. Okay, so once you found this, there is a way, right? If it doesn't have anything, it will return 0. So you must mention code as greater than 0. If it is the value is greater than 0, means if it is one time it is coming, pass it. Two times it is coming, pass it. The blindly, remember, if it is appearing at least one time, it will return 1. So that is the reason I mentioned greater than 0. If it is greater than 0, we can write LR underscore end transaction pass. End underscore transaction. There is one more shortcut way, Control Shift T. Okay, so if you enter Control Shift T, automatically will get that end transaction for you. Okay, these are the some of the shortcuts you must know. So I will mention login. Okay, so now I have to insert even start transaction, right? So always keep think times outside of transaction. This is very important. Okay, keep always think time functions outside the transaction, not inside the transaction. So for this start transaction, Control T. Control T is for start transaction, Control Shift T is for end transaction. So let's keep login. So now I entered login, start transaction, and inside that WebRage find and end transaction. Okay, so here instead of LR auto, you have to pass LR pass. If it is greater than 0, directly pass it. Else what you have to do, LR underscore. So already right? Control Shift T and keep login inside this and LR fail, because you have to fail it, right? If you don't find that value. Okay, and you have to exit this script also, LR underscore exit. Here you have to pass continuation option, LR underscore exit underscore exit main iteration Okay, this will be, so search for help also. If you don't know that function, search for help. Okay, and this is the exit function which will have continuation options. So here is the LR script continuation, LR exit user, so LR exit action, LR exit iteration, okay, LR exit main iteration. So we have many things. Okay, so LR exit main iteration and continue. Okay, I should pass and continue. Main iteration underscore and continue. Continue LR underscore fail. Okay, so this way we have to pass it. Okay, so this is the way you must have to write your coding. If the text point is failed, you must write this code and do the activity. Okay, so this is the simple text you can write. Okay, so if you run now, if it is there it will pass, otherwise it will fail. Okay, so you can see that one, whether the transaction has been passed or failed. Okay, so this is all about automatic correlation, how to do error handling. Like this is not error handling, I can say this is like make sure your script is working as expected. Okay, so this is like our scripts are working as expected. Okay, whenever you write this kind of functions, then only will come to know whether it is really passing or not. Okay, so now we can see the transaction also passed or not. See, this text checkpoint is find 4 times, that is it is greater than 0 only, right? Then what it does is LR pass. If it is not finding, then it will go to fail status. If it is not finding means let me fail it. Okay, I will write like ABCD. I will add ABCD. So now ABCD web tools won't be find, right? So then it will return 0. 0 cannot be greater than 0, so obviously it will fail. Okay, this is the way we have to do the functions, like error handling, like how to make it fail, how to make it pass. See, now it went to exit iteration, so it is going to exit iteration and it says fail the transaction. So it won't stop your script during the execution, it will simply give the proper reason, like why it failed, because of this text state was not found and it failed the iteration. See, failed the end transaction. So this way we can find out like why it has been failed and what is the reason for that. Okay, that way we will make sure our scripts are working as expected. Okay, always. Okay, so this is the way we have to write the all the functions. Okay, so with today's session we are almost completed Vusion. Okay, so now let me show you one quick quick script. Let me record and we'll do all parameterization, correlation, real quick, and we'll go for we go for executions. Okay, so tomorrow onwards I can start controller sessions, like how to record scenarios, what kind of scenarios we have. I already explained workload model, please go through that videos and understand. Okay, really will be executing based on workload models only. If you don't have workload model, then our scripts won't work. Okay, running instance must be cloud before recording. Where is it running? I don't think so it's running. Okay, it's coming now. So always while recording, the best practices are keep transaction, at least insert comments. Okay, login, these are the very basic things. Okay, you no need to insert transaction names right now, later we can insert. but comments are very important. Okay, so Jojo Bean. Okay, login already I have given. Oh, what the heck, Bean. Yeah, and logout. Okay, simple out. Okay, simple comments. Okay, and done. And stop the script. Okay, so always while recording, as a best practice, record inside the comments. That is very important. Creating comments are very important. Okay, so don't forget. So at least record create the comments while recording. Okay, now let's minimize this. This is URL, this is login, and this is wrong one, so I'm going to remove this. Some reason it doesn't work. Jojo Bean. Okay, so yeah, let me remove this. Okay, so think times always keep outside. Okay, for login I already written this one, right? So take the same code until here. So I will put real quick paste here. Okay, so this is for login, and let me go to control home, and same thing I have to do here. Okay, so again I will go here, web tours, everywhere web tours only, right? So control home. Okay, I don't think so I have to go there. Anyway, I have here, right? So this one, this is the same as web tours. And if you want to create your new text, copy only save text and keep here text check 2. Okay, and write the same condition here. Okay, let me take this condition home. Okay, after this transaction I should insert here, I have to keep text 2. Okay, so here URL, right? So always write your scenario name, like no flight booking, that is the application name. So scenario 1. Okay, that is the your scenario 1, and step number 1, and what is the step number description, URL open. Okay, so you must write proper naming conventions, otherwise you will get confused. Okay, otherwise here also, yeah, this is best. Okay, always go with this name, scenario name. So application name, scenario name, number, and what is the step number and name. Okay, this is the my first transaction. Okay, and I have to start transaction, right? What is the step? So always keep your transactions outside of this text checkpoints. That is also one of the best practice. Okay, this is login, and URL open, and this is URL end for this one, and then login. So this won't be login, so I will make step number 2 login. Okay, like this. Keep always proper naming conventions. Then I will show you what is the benefit of this one. Okay, in controller we can see the good results in proper format. If you don't write, no, it will come in naming like no A first to B first, like that. Okay, ascending order, then you have to format it very hard, it will take lot of time. Okay, so like this you make. Again I will copy this code for logout also, and I will make paste here. Okay, so here I will write save count equal to text 3. Okay, so these are the text checks I have written here. Okay, So this think time always keep outside of the transaction, so it goes here and control T and insert transaction same one. Instead of login, keep logout. Here step number is 3 and log out. Log out. Okay, copy this one. So very easy, right? So you can do it. Yeah. So this is the way we have to do our scripting. Okay. So now this is the username password. If you want to do, if you have real time, you will be having values, right? So create new parameter. So the type is file. Go to OK. Okay, so let's create this one. I forgot to change the correlation. For opening parameters, you can find them here, or you can click on Control L. Okay, Control plus L will get parameter name. I forgot to name the name of the parameter here. I can change here. Okay, user name always. Okay, keep like this. Otherwise, p underscore. Okay, parameter. So this p means parameter. Okay, so this is the value. So just close this one. Okay, so this is the way we can do parameter. So now let's do it for the password also. Password always depends on username, right? So let's go here. Let's create password. Okay, now this time I don't click OK. Go to properties. It will open the parameter properties, and okay, so select username, because already new this is new password is username, right? And add one more column, it will be password. So both will be in same file. Okay, so here instead of new parameter, I will make it as user session. I forgot to change the name while creating. So user name. Okay, so save. So now always go with by name, otherwise by number means you may get confused. This will be password, right? It should be mapped with password. So here it has to follow the username, same as line as p name. Okay, you must give. Okay, so I think everyone knows parameterization, so I am not mentioning too much into this, but here also go to by name and username. Okay, this username always follows this username. This password always go with password, but password always depends on username. So that is the reason same like as username we must pass. Okay, so you know these lines and all. If you want first data line 1 2 3, likewise you can pass. For now I am not doing anything. Okay, so I am keeping as it is. So this is the real quickly you can do parameterization, correlation, and very important thing, this is very important. Okay, I forgot to mention this. This is the URL of this application, so you must do the URL. So keep it as URL p underscore, right? I thought I forgot again. Okay, p underscore URL. So for this, okay, click OK and it will replace everywhere. So this is the where if you want to change your URL, you can come here and change your URL name whatever you want. Okay, so if some after 1 month or 1 year your client changes URL, you have to change that one, then it will be very easy to do this one. Okay, so this way you have to do parameterization, correlation. URLs you must do correlation, parameterization, and username, passwords you have to do. Like whatever data you are entering on the page, that you will call it as a parameterization. Whatever values comes from the server, that values we will call it as a correlation values, dynamic values. The dynamic values if you want to handle, you must do the correlation values. Okay, whatever values comes from the server, those values will be called as dynamic values. If you want to do dynamic values to capture, you must follow the correlation concept. Okay, so this is real quick script. Okay, we have done, and let's run for one iteration. So before running this, you can go to runtime settings and see whatever runtime settings you want. For now I am not discussing much about runtime settings here. We'll see the runtime settings mainly plays in crucial role in controller, not in Vusion. Okay, Vusion simply we can enable logs. Mainly we'll use run logic and this one only most of the time. The data written by the, so there are many options, right? Parameter and standard parameterization and all values. Okay, so most of the time we'll be using only these two. For now let me run one iteration and see if there are any errors. It will throw the errors, otherwise it will say everything is successful. So now my script is passed completely without any errors, and I can see exact namings what I have given, and you can go and check one more time everything is correct or not. So logout, this is the logout transaction, it passed. This is the login, step 2. These are the very important naming conversion. See how neat it is. So application name, script name, scenario name, step number, and what is the action you are doing on that. This is the application name. Step number 2 I am doing step number 2 login. Step number 3 I am doing logout. So this is the way you have to write the transaction names. Okay, so this is all about one script. So now I am going to use this script for our executions. So scripting, like let's explain about little bit of controller now. Tomorrow I will explain you, next session I will explain you more details about controller. So Vusion is standalone application where you will record the flow for only one user, one real user flow you can record in Vusion. You can do all parameterization and correlations and error handling, everything. Okay, in Vusion. Mainly Vusion will be used for to create one real business process for one user, and you can make changes to that like parameterization, correlation, error handling, and whatever things you want to do you can do in this script. Only this will work for only one user. If now my script is ready for one user, it is working as expected for one user. Now what is my next step? My next step would be, like I want to run multiple runs like load test, shakeout test, or baseline test, or stress test, or endurance test, and whatever test if you want to do, you must need licensed version of controller. So in Vusion, like in load runner we have three components, right? Like Vusion and controller and analysis. Analysis will be the analysis purpose, and Vusion is for mainly to record the business process and do the enhancements like parameterization, correlation, everything. Okay, so that is all about Vusion part we have completed. Now we are going to the controller. Now controller part I will explain you later. Okay, so what is controller and what are the benefits, what things you need, and everything. Okay, so thanks for watching. See you guys in next session. So please do like if you like my video, and please share to your friends and colleagues. Okay, so see you in next session. Thanks for watching once again. See you. Bye bye.